On Tuesday, September 9th, 2025, the service of songs and night of tributes in honor of the late Dr. Mrs. Doyinsola Abiola, held at the prestigious Harbour Point Event Centre, Victoria Island, Lagos, drew together an extraordinary constellation of dignitaries, statesmen, media icons, friends, and family to celebrate a woman whose life and legacy shaped journalism and democracy in Nigeria. Dr. Mrs. Doyinsola Abiola, 1943 to 2025, was more than a journalist. She was a pioneer, a voice of courage, and a symbol of resilience. From her early days as a reporter with the defunct Daily Sketch, after graduating from the University of Ibadan in 1969, she charted a course that was both daring and transformative. She broke the gender ceiling, becoming the first woman to edit a national newspaper, and later the first female managing director of a daily. In 1980, she emerged as a founding editor of National Concord, eventually rising to managing director and editor-in-chief of all Concord titles, where she introduced the groundbreaking Weekend Concord, redefining human interest reporting. Beyond the newsroom, she became a powerful pillar in her husband, Chief MKO Abiola's 1993 presidential campaign, mobilizing the press and standing unbowed when the June 12 election was annulled. Even after the military silenced Concord, her voice for democracy never dimmed. Her story is one of integrity, excellence, courage, and a lifelong commitment to women's empowerment and the defense of democratic ideals. The evening reflected the weight of her legacy, graced by the presence of Lagos State Governor Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu and the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, represented by the Secretary to the Lagos State Government, Barrister Abimbola Salundein. Also present was the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Alhaji Anoimot Salako Yedele, former Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, SAN, GCON, and former Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, CON, SAN, who attended with his wife, Dame Emanuela Fashola. The roll call of eminent personalities further included former Governor of Ogun State, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, with his wife, Chief Mrs. Olufunsho Amosun. The veteran journalist and founder of Vanguard newspapers, Uncle Sam Amuka-Kwemu, Honorable Minister of Solid Minerals, Dr. Dele Alake, former First Lady of Ogun State, Chief Mrs. Doyinsola Oshoba, Advertising Doyen, Dr. Abiodun Shobanjo, Chair and Publisher of the Guardian newspapers, Lady Maiden Ibru, MFR, former Presidential Advisor, Mr. Femi Adesina, Chief Mrs. Nike Akonde, OON, Society Matriarch, Chief Mrs. Abba Folawiyo, Chief Yemi Ogunbiyi, Chairman of This Day and Arise Group, Prince Nduka Obaigbena, Chairman of Ovation Media Group, Chief Dele Momodu, Pastor Itwa Ighodalo, amongst others. The solemn proceedings opened with a heartfelt prayer by Pastor Itwa Ighodalo, followed by a stirring choral rendition by the Lagos City Chorale. Scripture readings were drawn from the books of Psalms and Revelation, set in a deeply reflective tone. A beautifully crafted documentary chronicling the life, struggles, and triumphs of Dr. Abiola was screened, interspersed with soulful musical performances. Tributes poured in waves from those whose lives she touched. Dr. Jumoke Oduwole spoke passionately. Chief Dele Momodu shared moving recollections. Folake Akindele and Miss Ibikun Abidoye offered heartfelt words.
Auntie Doyin was an extremely intentional person. As I grew older, in my university days especially, I took to driving to Ikeja unannounced to visit her from time to time. When I think of it now, I wonder how she made the time. If she was home, she would take time to see me in the middle of her day and have long, patient conversations with me about life. Her life, my life, the choices we make, lessons from things happening around us, everything, like I was a real adult. Then I would most certainly always leave with something dainty, often perfume or some other nice feminine item.
She was always showing me love. We discussed every issue. When Daddy was in detention, the first time that she received a note from Daddy from prison, she called me and said, Daddy said I should come to Gashua prison disguised to come and see him. Unfortunately, on my way to Gashua, I was told they've moved him, and I never saw Daddy again. So Bomi was totally committed to her husband and to Nigeria. Her role in June 12 has not been properly documented. So I hope that Doyin will make every effort to document her role because she was an intellectual powerhouse. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Auntie Doyin was a pioneer, yes. The first Nigerian woman to rise to the very top of a national newspaper. A voice of truth in turbulent times. A woman who broke many barriers so others could walk freely. But to me, she was that special woman who checked in quietly. A role model that showed me that power and femininity were not opposites. Her legacy in Nigerian journalism will be studied and celebrated. But for those of us who knew her closely, her true legacy is the love, wisdom, and courage she poured into us. Auntie Doyin, thank you for being a lighthouse in my life and in the lives of so many. You always live in my heart. You ran your race gracefully and beautifully. Rest well.
Their tributes were uplifted by a soul-stirring saxophone performance by B.J. Sax. Further tributes followed from Mr. Tunji Bello, former Lagos State Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, veteran journalist Mr. Mike Awonyinfa, and Honorable Minister Dr. Dele Alake. Barrister Abimbola Salundein then delivered the official condolence message of the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu.
Apart from acting as a role model to upcoming editorial executives and reporters, she was a great innovator, always keeping us ahead of other newspapers. She was one of the first media employers to embrace information technology and got most of our staff to embrace it in order not to be left behind. Each time you entered our office, as in the 90s, you found Dr. Abiola always on a laptop. She was the one that revolutionized the Saturday newspapers. Much has been said about that. As is the weekend paper that were different from the normal daily, as we used to have, with the advent of Weekend Concord, which became Concord's best national seller at that time, before the rival publications followed. I've learned from her noble teachings while working. Most fundamental was that she would always say, always stand for something. Always stand for something. This is philosophical, particularly for those privileged in holding leadership positions or called upon to be vanguard of public conscience, like newspapers and public institutions. Because when you're asked to deliver a public good, your conscience matters. She reminded us, just like Otman Dafodio once preached, conscience is an open wound. Only the truth can heal it. So may I say to our humble and gracious daughter, may your days be long. May you be accomplished. May your children be greater than you.
Tonight we gather here to honor and bid farewell to an icon of Nigerian journalism, Dr. Doyinsola Abiola, a woman who changed lives, shaped careers, and redefined the possibilities of the Nigerian press. For me, this is deeply personal. Dr. Abiola was more than a boss. She was a destiny helper. Just as the book I wrote on the great journalist, Chief Segun Oshoba, titled Oshoba, The Newspaper Years. I'll write your own book too. I will not let your memory and your legacies die with you. We will never forget you. Just as we will never forget your husband, Chief MKO Abiola, our president, a great son of Africa, and you know the song, MKO is a man, yo. Time is not on my side. So rest in peace, Doyin, the mother of Doyin Abiola Togun, and the Queen Mother of Nigerian journalism. Sleep well, and may the peace of the Lord rest and abide with you. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, it's really very emotional for me personally to be here to pay tribute to my auntie. I was a brother she never had, and she told me so, not once, not twice, not thrice, but severally. And that was an eloquent testimony to the deep relationship that I had with her. She told me pointedly several times, Dele, you are the brother I never had. She was there for me, I was there for her with all sense of modesty, both officially, intellectually, politically, domestically. I was always there. I was at her beck and call. But primarily, what most people don't know about our auntie, a lot has been said about her intellectualism, about her journalistic prowess, about her standing in the society and all that, even about her political perspectives and views and persuasions. What most people don't know is that Dr. Abiola was a driving, compelling force, a juggernaut behind the entire June 12 saga, from inception to the very end. And some of us were privileged to be there from inception to the very end. And so we went through the crucibles with her. In fact, the very first public knowledge of Chief MKO Abiola's aspiration was not behind her.
I extend my condolences to the Abiola family, especially Mrs. Doyinsola Abiola Tobun, the children, grandchildren, the Abuabas, the in-laws, friends, the media community, and indeed the entire nation in paying tribute to a distinguished daughter of Nigeria, Dr. Doyinsola Hamidat Abiola ni Abuaba. Dr. Abiola was more than a trailblazer. She was a pioneer whose brilliance and courage opened doors for many women and set a standard of excellence for all. As the first female editor of a national newspaper in Nigeria, the National Concord, she broke barriers in a male-dominated field and proved through hard work, intellect, and integrity that women have an indispensable role to play in shaping the narrative of our nation. Dr. Doyin Abiola's contributions to the growth of journalism and media industry in Nigeria are worthy of note in that she carved a path of excellence and courage for many Nigerian women in media and public service. I, therefore, on behalf of my husband and family, together with the good women of Nigeria, and indeed our great nation, celebrate Dr. Doyin Abiola's courage, achievements, and enduring legacy. Auntie Doyin, may your soul rest in peace. Thank you.
In a deeply personal reflection, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola described the departed as one who had stepped on a pedestal of high value from which she refused to descend. In a tribute he titled, "A Tribute to Greatness." Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, in his tribute, painted her as a towering figure in Nigerian journalism and a truly remarkable woman whose life was not to be mourned, but to be celebrated as one who lived with purpose.
You make of that what you will, but that was Auntie Doyin. I will not share anymore, except to say that those words demonstrate her passion for country, for democracy, and her people. The tributes that have spewed forth from all corners of the world testify again to her greatness, and the ink will not dry in a hurry, especially now with the commitment we have had from Mike Awoyinfa. The ink will not dry. She will be sorely missed by all, especially by the Abiola and Abuaba families, to whom I extend sincere and very deep condolences. But I urge them and Doyin Mrs. Tobun to take heart and rest assured that Auntie Doyin lives on, because greatness does not die. Greatness does not perish. It only transforms as she has done.
And so to family, to friends, and to admirers of a truly remarkable woman, we're gathered here tonight, not to mourn, but in reference for a life so profoundly lived and a legacy that will cultivate the passage of time. It is with profound sadness and deep respect that I rise to pay tribute to late Dr. Mrs. Doyinsola Abiola, a towering figure in Nigerian journalism, a mantractor of grace, and a quiet yet forceful advocate for truth, for dignity, and public service. Mama Doyinsola, as many affectionately called her, was not just, as we've heard, the first Nigerian woman to rise to the position of a managing director of a national newspaper. To the Abiola, to the Abuaba family, may God console all of us. I can assure you, I will cherish the text messages she had sent to me in the last 5 years. I'll keep that as my own fond memory. Adieu, Auntie. You fought the good fight. You kept the faith. Your crown, I say, eternal. Thank you very much.
The closing phase of tributes claimed from those closest to her heart. Lola Edewo, her son-in-law, Mr. Oluwabamishi Tobun, and her beloved daughter, Mrs. Doyinsola Abiola Tobun, gave profoundly touching testimonies that moved the audience to a standing ovation.
She was a teacher, a motivator. She was my gist partner too. We gisted all the time. And she was a source of light on my journey. Her wisdom, her love, her legacy will continue to guide me always. To her family, she was very proud to be part of the Aboaba family, the Abiola family, the Ilori family, the Shomoye family, and to her larger family circle. She carried that pride everywhere she went. To Nigeria, she believed in this country, its greatness, its unity, its potential. May her hopes for our nation be fulfilled in our lifetime. To everyone here and beyond, she would often say, and as she said this, she was not a Liverpool fan, may you never walk alone. Today, we hold on to that, and we will walk forward together in her memory.
My mother was many things, but she was consistently a mother first. I can hear her saying, "Ha, you want to do that, Udindi Omo," when we're speaking about her grandchildren. Anything that she thought was rough play pertaining to a child, she would have her eyes open in bewilderment, just at the mere insinuation of anything she thought was callous or careless. You can imagine if that was her sentiment to her grandchildren, how she treated me. I knew that I was precious, and I had to respect myself, and there was no room for any kind of erekere, as the Yoruba people will say. Having said that, she didn't encourage fearlessness. Mommy personified the truth that God has not given us a spirit of fear. She was bold, but not reckless. She showed me the difference between recklessness and boldness. She was ever poised and dignified. It was inspiring to watch how she handled difficulty, strain, grief, challenges, and even pressure. Someone asked me over the last few weeks if I ever heard my mother raise her voice, and I thought that was so funny. Of course I heard my mother raise her voice, but I could understand why somebody would ask me that question. That wasn't surprising to me. The silent instruction I received from her on how to manage challenges has come in handy over the last few weeks. That was generally her way. She taught through her actions and not through her words. So I think it goes without saying that I miss her so much. I will always miss her. There are too many things, like the words that she would say, how she would say the word ridiculous, treats like gummy bears, different places. But I will carry her with me, and every time someone calls my name, it will be a reminder that she was once here with us. It has been an honor and the highest privilege to be your child, Mommy. I pray that you continue to rest in peace, and I know that you are with the Lord. I would just like to briefly thank everyone, all the esteemed guests as well. I know my husband will do that properly. We appreciate you, and as Mommy would always say, as many people have said she would always say, may you never walk alone. Thank you.
Prayers were then offered for the family, and the evening drew a close with a vote of thanks delivered by Mr. Oluwabamishi Tobun. The night of tributes and service of songs for Dr. Mrs. Doyinsola Abiola concluded with a family thanksgiving and a solemn farewell, leaving behind not just memories of a remarkable woman, but a legacy that will continue to inspire generations to come.